Hello there and a very good evening. You're watching Prime Time News on TV1. For the Newsfirst team, I'm Dasnia Powder.
And I'm Devan Gonavla. Before we take a deeper look at the stories lined up for you today, let's first have a look at the headlines.
Sri Lanka celebrates its 71st National Day.
වසර එකහමාරකට ආසන්න කාලයක් තුල පළාත් සභා මැතිවරණ නොපැවැත්වීම ප්‍රජාතන්ත්‍රවාදයට අභියෝගයක් ලෙසයි මා දකින්නේ.
Why didn't Field Marshal Sara Fonseca attend the National Day celebrations?
මට ගිහිල්ලා ෆීල්ඩ් මාෂල් කෙනෙක් හැටියට ඉන්න බැරි නිසා මම ඒකට යෑම වර්ජනය කරා.
Tragic accident in Veyangoda. Remains of the two army officers who lost their lives in the Mali UN Peace Corps brought to Sri Lanka.
The 71st National Day of Sri Lanka was celebrated at the Galle-Face Green today. The event was held under the auspices of President Maithripala Sirisena.
A number of dignitaries, including Prime Minister Ranil Vikrama, former President Mahinda Rajapaksa, Speaker Karu Jayasuriya, ministers, MPs and foreign diplomats were in attendance. Maldivian President Ibrahim Muhammad Salih attended the celebrations as the chief guest. The National Day celebrations commenced with the arrival of the President. The ceremony began with 2 minutes of silence in remembrance of the men and women in uniform who laid down their lives for the nation. This was followed by the National Day Parade. A 21-gun salute was then presented to the President.
දෙදස් පහළවේ අප විසින් ප්‍රධාන වශයෙන්ම ප්‍රධාන දේශපාලන පක්ෂයක් වූ ජාතික ආණ්ඩුවක් පිහිටුවා බව ඔබ අප කවුරුත් දන්නවා.
All of us know that in 2015 we formed a national government by joining the major political parties. Through this government, we rendered a great service to the country. However, most of the tasks that should have been done by the government were neglected. Also, some acts were done that should not have been done. I believe that the people in the north lived freely during the last 4 years after 35 years. I see the failure to hold provincial council elections for the last 1.5 years as a challenge to democracy. NGOs, however, do not come forward to talk about these issues. I see the proposal about a national government in the media. From what I have seen in the media, I strongly disagree to the idea of a proposed national government. For the past 7 decades, we have only known politics which was carried out to ensure self-benefit. Since 2015, we completely removed the fear that was prevalent in the country. How difficult is it to remove corruption? I see a scarcity of honest politicians. We have to create the conditions for all the people to live under a single flag in an undivided country that can never be divided. We must stay together. I wish to remember once again the war heroes who made the maximum sacrifice in the 30-year-old conflict, the disabled and members of their families. 2 Sri Lankan war heroes serving in the United Nations peacekeeping mission died last week. I express my condolences over their demise on this occasion and extend the honor of the whole nation to them. I recall a free verse written by Kumar Munidasa.
මා දෙස හෙළ දෙස මා දෙස හෙළ රැස මා බස හෙළ බස මේ මගේ හිස මත.
I believe this is the essence of our future vision. I request all to unite with the aim of conquering all challenges before the nation.
ඇති සියලු අභියෝග ජය ගැනීමට එය හොඳින් අවබෝධ කරගනිමින් අප සියලු දෙනාම එකට සිටිමු එකට සිටිමු එකට සිටිමු. ස්තුතියි තිරුවන් සරණයි දෙවි පිහිටයි.
A procession comprising of the Tri-Forces and the police also took part in the 71st National Day procession.
ಈ ನಾಡತುರು ತಿಳಿದಿಸುವನೆ ವರ್ತಮಾನ ಗುವನ್ ಹಮ್ದಾಧಿಪತಿ ಎ ಮಾರ್ಷಲ್ ಕಪಿಲ ಜಯಂಪತಿ
පොලිස් විශේෂ කාර්ය බළකාන් නිලධාරී බලඇණිය සම්මාන පෙළපාලියේ ගමන් කරන අවස්ථාවයි මේ 1983 වර්ෂයේ පොලිස් සේවයට එක් වූ සුවිශේෂී බලකායක් වන පොලිස් විශේෂ කාර්ය බලකාය ප්‍රභූ
இலங்கை விமானப்படையின் மோட்டார் சைக்கிள் படைப்பிரிவு இப்போது செல்வது.
As the weapons of the army were displayed, the Navy carried out a show of strength in the waters of the Gulf face.
ස්ථාපිත කළ ලද විශේෂතර බලකණය සඳහා අද දින උතුරෙන් කොමාන්ඩර් සාගර කලාපයේ ආරක්ෂාව වෙනුවෙන් කැපවන දියත් විධාන බලකණය සඳහා උතුරෙන් කොමාන්ඩර් ප්‍රශාන්ත් පුලොත්.
The Air Force also showed their strength in an aerial display on the Gulf face sky.
මෙන්න ප්‍රථම පැනීම විශේෂයෙන් නාවික හමුදා ගුවන් හමුදා එවැගේම ත්‍රිවිධ හමුදාව නියෝජනය කරමින් සිටින මොහොතයි මේ ඔබ දැන් දකින්නට සූදානම් වන්නේ තවත් එක් සුවිශේෂී අවස්ථාවක්.
The Navy also carried out their annual salute to celebrate the 71st National Day. The 25 rounds were fired today as a salute to the people. Now, several heads of governments extended their greetings as Sri Lanka celebrated its 71st National Day.
Queen Elizabeth II, in a message, has extended her best wishes for the good fortune and happiness of the people of Sri Lanka in the coming year. Queen Elizabeth said, quote, "It gives me great pleasure to send Your Excellency Maithripala Sirisena my congratulations on the celebration of your National Day, together with my best wishes for the good fortune and happiness of the people of Sri Lanka in the coming year." Unquote. Meanwhile, Russian President Vladimir Putin extended his wishes to Sri Lanka, said the bilateral relations rest upon heartwarming traditions of friendship and mutual respect, and expressed confidence that cooperation in all fields meets the interest of the people of the two countries and is in line with strengthening of regional stability and security. Indian President Ramnath Kovind also extended his wishes to Sri Lanka on its 71st National Day. He expressed confidence that historic and indivisible relations between India and Sri Lanka would grow with strength for mutual benefit.
Now, Deputy Leader of the United National Party, Minister Sajith Premadasa, also extended his wishes on the 71st National Day of Sri Lanka.
Deputy Leader of the UNP, Minister Sajith Premadasa, in his message states that we must resolve to identify and avoid anti-national elements and their wicked campaigns and refresh our minds with thoughts of freedom. Right Reverend Diloraj Kanakasabe, the Bishop of Colombo of the Church of Ceylon, issuing a message in line with the 71st National Day, says, "This anniversary, which ought to be a day of national rejoicing and thanksgiving, has unfortunately over the years become a mere ritualized event." The message adds that this is symbolic of the gap between the rulers, those who gravitate around them, and the ruled that has opened out. The release says, "May the teachings of our faiths and the noble examples of those whose lives have enlightened us for the good be our guide and our inspiration this Independence Day." Issuing his message, Governor of the Western Province Azad Salih says it is time to recall with appreciation the contributions made by our national heroes who were responsible for gaining of the independence from foreign rule. He adds that it is also time to remember and respect the war heroes who laid down their arms to safeguard our motherland.
Now, following an event held in Gampaha today, Field Marshal Sarat Fonseca explained as to why he did not attend the 71st Independence Day celebrations. I have been deprived of my democratic rights. When my name was proposed by the government for a ministerial position, the executive of this country unconstitutionally obstructed me from taking oaths as a minister. At present, I hold the position of Field Marshal. As per the military traditions and discipline, when a Field Marshal enters a military parade, the military must stand at attention. All military colours and flags must be lowered. However, none of these took place despite my invitation. Since my position as a Field Marshal does not earn its rightful respect as per military traditions and discipline, I refrained from attending the event.
මට ගිහිල්ලා ෆීල්ඩ් මාෂල් කෙනෙක් හැටියට ඉන්න බැරි නිසා මම ඒකට යෑම වර්ජනය කරා.
දැන් මේ ජාතික ආණ්ඩුවක් හදන්න යනවා දැන් ඔබතුමාලා. එතකොට මේ එක්සත් ජාතික පක්ෂය කතා කරන ප්‍රජාතන්ත්‍රවාදය ගැන කතා කරන එක්සත් ජාතික පක්ෂය ජාතික ආණ්ඩුවක් හදන්න යන්නේ මේ නැතියම්කම් වැඩි කරගන්න.
The number of ministers, deputy ministers and state ministers will be approved in Parliament through the formation of a national government. It is only then that ministers can work independently. Otherwise, the President will act according to his own will by changing or reducing the number of ministers. Based on the President's recent behaviour, we decided to obtain approval in Parliament accordingly.
ඒක නිසා අපි තීරණය කරා ඒ ආකාරයට පාර්ලිමේන්තුවේ අනුමත කරගන්න.
Parliamentarian S.P. Disanayaka expressed these views following an event held in Bomure, Medamahanura.
I think it is something demeaning and something that we should not have done. Even if they make such a decision in Parliament, the President has every right to object and disallow the number to rise above 30. That will then be beneficial if they don't request to increase the number of ministers, deputy and state ministers. I wish them all well. No, a group in the UNP is proposing to defeat the budget. Some of them in the parties affiliated with the UNP have also made the same proposal.
Now, an intellectual discourse was held in Shavakacheri in Jaffna yesterday.
Several political representatives and civil activists attended the forum.
What's the reason for the sudden concern towards the people who have been ignored up to date? This is simply an attempt to obtain votes during the upcoming elections. You all are attempting to remain in power by obstructing alternative leadership, and that is on the rise. Positive as well as negative views are being expressed regarding the rise of the alternate leadership of the former Chief Minister of the Northern Province, C.V. Vigneshwaran. This is my question. What's the reason for the formation of alternative leadership? The political crisis that took place last October in the south is viewed as a power struggle between two political parties. In order to solve this issue, the TNA's intervention was at a very high level. The Prime Minister who lost his position was reinstated. Mahinda Rajapaksa, who lost his position as the Prime Minister, was appointed as the leader of the opposition. The TNA that intervened in this matter lost the position of opposition leader. This was a disgrace to the Tamil community. It was the only opposition party in the world that extended their support to the government. The TNA that represents the Tamil community has deceived its own people. You are responsible for this disgrace. You went to court to reinstate the Prime Minister, but why did you fail to do justice to missing persons? The reason is that you are selfish, selfish, selfish. No one questioned me as to why I failed to provide what was mentioned in the election manifesto between 2010 and 2015. Why was I not questioned? They understand that the situation. In 2011, I held 18 discussions with the former President Mahinda Rajapaksa. The people are aware of this. People have belief and hope that this will succeed. That is why people inquire. We have received a proposal now, and we cannot say that it does not include anything. If a new constitution was brought in during former President Chandrika Bandaranayaka's tenure, it would have resolved many of our issues. If the main two political parties approve this proposal, they have stated that it will be looked into. We vest this in the public. We will not accept a proposal that the people reject. If it is a good proposal, we will advise the public. Compared to the previous versions, I believe that the current proposal is the best. I am not sure whether other members of the TNA agree with me. I attempted to restore democracy following the political crisis that erupted on the 26th of October last year. Yes, I was selfish. The TNA cannot act similar to tigers. How would the LTTE respond to a land invasion? We cannot follow similar practices. This is a different environment. We cannot do as they did.
Speaking at an event held at the Kasbah Urban Council, convener of the Yuthukama organization, Govindu Kumaratunga expressed the following views.
We can now see in these constitutional proposals that have been put forward that there are attempts to deviate from governing this country as one country and one government. The responsibility of every patriotic citizen is to be mindful of these forces who try to deceive you. You have to come forward to take decisions for the betterment of your country.
Now moving on, Governor of the Central Province President's Council Rodrigo Rana spoke about the revelation made by parliamentarian Dr. Vijay Rajapaksa regarding the formation of a national government. He made the following remarks on the Newsline program this morning.
You said earlier, but isn't this Vijay Rajapaksa says is a misleading of the public and of Parliament. Isn't this sadly, very sadly, Isn't this a surefire indication that the United National Party has become bankrupt in terms of
I think
ideas?
Bankruptcy crept into the United National Party far before the 19th Amendment, the bankruptcy. Now, what Minister Vijay Rajapaksa says is Article 46.5. Now, if I just read the Article 46.5,
yeah.
For the purpose of paragraph 4, national government means a government formed by a recognized political party or independent group which obtains the highest number of seats in parliament.
Yeah.
So it says the highest number of seats in parliament.
Yeah.
Together with the other recognized political parties or independent groups.
The other recognized
political parties, yes, or independent groups.
It doesn't say some.
No.
It says the. It indicates what?
Either it is one political party or independent group.
Parents usually take their children to amusement parks during a school vacation. But are these amusement parks safe? Are the equipment maintained? And are they of necessary safety standards? A tragic accident was reported from Vayangoda today.
They were on the merry-go-round. Myself and my daughter was watching after 2 rounds. On the 3rd round, they crashed down. My daughter and wife crashed into a concrete pole.
Those were the views expressed by the grieving father after the accident that took place at the amusement park in Vayangoda, Naivala area. His wife, who is a mother of 3, died and her 13-year-old daughter was seriously wounded. The ride known as the Octopus, which they were boarded on, can accompany 15 riders at a time. Machine operators told the police that about 10 riders were on board at the time of the accident. It is said that one part of the machine is raised to a height of 5 to 6 feet. The woman and her daughter was on this section.
They didn't stop the machine. Even after 2 rounds, still they didn't stop the machine. Even when I was pleading to take my daughter for the emergency treatment, they didn't simply care. The crowd got together, arranged a vehicle and took her for treatment.
The victim was a 47-year-old resident of the Siembalapitiya area in Kotugoda. The daughter had been transferred from Gampaha District Hospital to the National Hospital due to serious injuries to her head. When inquired by us, a spokesperson of the National Hospital stated that the condition of the child was serious.
Now in some more tragic news, the mother of Sonority, who is a suspect of her daughter's disappearance, is to be held under detention orders until 4 p.m. tomorrow. The detention order was issued by the Puttala magistrate. Tisara has been missing for a period of 6 days.
The mother lodged a complaint of the disappearance of her daughter to the Saliyawawa police on the 29th of last month. Police launched a search operation following the complaint, but they were unable to gather any information. Afterwards, the mother, the grandmother of the child, the second husband of the grandmother, and 4 other people were interrogated in police custody. The mother of the child was arrested yesterday based on the statements provided at the interrogations. The suspected woman was produced before the Puttlam Additional District Judge and Magistrate Lahiru S. De Silva this evening, and the suspect was ordered to be held in custody. According to the statement given by the suspect in regard to the incident, another individual residing in the same area was produced before the magistrate. Detain orders were issued against the second suspect in the case to be held in custody till tomorrow. The search operations launched by the police and a Navy team saw its 6th consecutive day today. But according to our correspondent, they fell short of finding any clues today as well.
Newsfirst Ratnapura correspondent Ruchira Abewana passed away last night as a result of a tragic motor accident that took place in the Newtown area in Ratnapura. The final rites will be carried out this Wednesday.
He met with this accident when he was travelling on his motorbike on the Ratnapura-Colombo main road last night. According to the police, the motorbike had collided with a jeep and a lorry near the rubber development department. A heated situation arose after the police tried to remove the jeep from the location where the incident occurred. This is an individual who witnessed the accident.
The jeep was speeding from the Ratnapura side, overtaking the vehicle. The motorcyclist was travelling towards Ratnapura direction. He collided with the jeep, and when the jeep took a sharp turn to the right, he was run over by the jeep. The jeep came in very fast. 4 people were inside the vehicle. I think they were all drunk. They all ran away after the crash, so we couldn't find them.
A suspect was arrested regarding the incident, and according to the police, he had claimed to be the driver of the jeep. The suspect was produced before courts and was remanded until the 6th. Rodrigo Rana was 47 years old at the time of his demise. Rodrigo was a father of 2 children. He was a graduate of University of Kelaniya and he was working as a development officer at the Ratnapura Divisional Secretariat's office. Rodrigo was an active journalist in the Newsfirst family and was loved by many in the area. He was reporting for the people, going to the depths of the Ratnapura district, and was able to get the attention of the authorities on many public matters and irregularities committed on the people. Rodrigo's remains lie at his residence in Barandua, Lelopitia, and the final rites are to be carried out on Wednesday.
Now, the flight carrying the remains of 2 army officials who were killed while serving the United Nations peacekeeping mission arrived in the island late this evening. The remains were of Captain W.D. Vikrama and Corporal S. Vijay Kumar. The bodies were received by the Commander of the Army, Lieutenant General Mahesh Senanayaka, and State Minister of Defence Ruwan Wijewardena, among several others.
Corn farmers in Impera who are facing severe difficulties due to the Sena caterpillar, also known as the fall armyworm issue, are now facing a bigger issue.
This is the corn cultivation of farmers in Tottama in Damana, Impera. The farmers say that due to substandard seeds that have been cultivated for 50 acres, the plants are not bearing fruit.
Look, there is not even a single seed. Everything is destroyed. This is affecting all the trees.
The farmers had purchased a pack of seeds from a private entity at a cost of 7,000 rupees each.
We obtained loans to purchase the seeds, so we must settle them. When this happens, we are unable to settle our debts. We didn't get a solution from the government or anyone else. The problem here is in the seeds. There are lands where we have grown crops for multiple seasons over the last decade or so. The problem has arisen because of these bad seeds.
The farmers further demand that they be paid compensation for losses they have incurred.
Now, due to the continuous reporting on matters related to drug trafficking, Newsfirst's Gampala correspondent Suranga Gajanayaka had received threats from a group of politically involved individuals. This event takes place in the background of the President's intervention in the National Drug Eradication Program.
Newsfirst continuously reported on illegal drug trafficking taking place in the Gampala area. A certain individual who was angered by this effort had threatened our correspondent over the phone.
Hello. ප්‍රාදේශීය දේශපාලඥයන්ගේ මොකද්ද සම්බන්ධයක් කුඩු ජාවරමල් නිල තියෙන කවුද දන්නේ දේශපාලඥයනේ කවුද දන්න කතා කරන්නේ නේ මම මංගල පුෂ්ප කුමාර කියලා කෙනෙක් කතා කරන්නේ ඒක පොලිසිය ඇති සමහරට බලන්නකො ආයේ දේශපාලඥයා ගැන පොලිසිය ලියලා තියෙනවද බලන්නකො මහත්තයා පොලිසියෙන් නම් කියනවා දේශපාලඥය ගැන දන්නේ නැහැ කියලා ඔයාට ඕන ඔයා කලබල වෙන්නේ ඔයාද ඒ දේශපාලඥයා නෑ මම දන්නේ ඔයාගෙන් අහන්නේ මම මේ කවුද කියලා නෑ ඔයා කලබල වෙන්නේ ඇයි දැන් කියන්නකෝ ඔයා දන්නවද
ඔයා කලබල වෙන්නේ නැහැ කියන්නකො මේකට
කලබල වෙන්නේ දැනගන්න මම මේ දේශපාලඥයෙක්
ඔයා නෙවෙයිනේ මේ එක්කෙනෙක් විතරක් නෙවෙයි ඉන්නවනේ දේශපාලඥයෝ මේ 500ක් මේක ඉන්නවනේ ඔයා කලබල වෙන්නේ
ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ ඥාතියෙ
However, our correspondent Suranga Gajanayaka lodged a complaint regarding this matter at the Gampola police station. The government has commenced a drug eradication program. With the support of the Gampola police, massive amounts of drug and heroin was taken into custody. Despite all of this, we have received threats from drug dealers and area politicians. I have lodged a complaint regarding this matter to the Gampola police.
Now, the promotional activities of the Sports First Alliance Platinum Awards was held at the St. Joseph's Girls College. The program is being carried out together with the Ministry of Sports and the Ministry of Education.
The promotion tour in Kegol began following a ceremony to commemorate the 71st anniversary of independence. The event was attended by senior officials of the Ministry of Education, representatives of the Capital Maharaja Organization and Allianz. Baseball, football and rugby workshops were also held along with the promotional activities. Nithma Medani of St. Joseph's Girls College, Kegol, won the Platinum Awards gold medal for the best athlete in the district. The Torch of Hope then travelled to Ratnapura from Kegol. The group carrying the torch travelled to Ratnapura through Ahaliyagoda, passing Avisavella, and were met with a warm reception.
And that's a wrap of Primetime News for tonight. For the Newsfirst team, I'm Dasnia Thaga.
And I'm Deshan Gunawala. Thank you for stopping by. Good night.